Why you cannot stop eating cookies. So the reason I want to talk about this is because I literally had a moment today when I was eating, it wasn't cookies, when I went to get some ice cream and I caught myself in this mind fuck that a lot of us have caught ourselves in, and a lot of it is tied to the lovely diet culture. So, for starters, my name is Bianca Lynch, and I am the founder and leader of Healthy Vegan Black, which is a movement to show Black women how to choose their version of healthy, not what society tells them that healthy should be. Stop hiding, start living. And one of the things that I discovered whenever I decided to give up the diet mentality is literally how many things have been ingrained in us from diet culture. Like it's absolutely wild. And what's so crazy to me is that we are literally living in a world where we believe that we're so bad, or like we don't have any discipline, and we are constantly needing to earn or deserve certain things, or we're bad for doing normal things like, I don't know, being hungry, or I don't know, eating when we're hungry. And it's funny because I got to this point, and a lot of this is from this book I read called Intuitive Eating. If you've read it, okay? If you haven't read it, do yourself a favor. But a lot of this came from me reading this book called Intuitive Eating, where they were talking about literally how powerful diet culture has been. So this is what happened to me today. I was like, I want some ice cream. And then I caught myself because I started having these diet culture thoughts of like, oh, well, you're not supposed to have ice cream, and ice cream is bad, and oh, you should wait until the weekend, for a cheat meal. I started having these thoughts, and I was like, fuck that. I want ice cream, so I'm gonna give me some ice cream. So I go to get me some ice cream, and the woman in the ice cream shop, there's like this really, really bomb ass homemade, locally made ice cream shop right up the road from me. And so I go in there. You know what's funny? Even as I said that, I almost said I don't go there a lot. Like I almost felt the need to defend myself, because immediately I was like, ooh, I don't want them to think I eat ice cream a lot. Oh, diet culture. Anyways, so I go in there and I order my ice cream, and then she's like, how many scoops do you want? And I was like, oh, just one. Interesting thought that came up for me. Oh, Bianca, make sure you only get one because you're being bad. And I was like, no. But what I've actually been realizing on this intuitive eating journey that I've been on, one of the things that I've recognized is that I do not actually need to eat as much as I thought I need to eat. And I have had a habit of overeating a lot. And a lot of that goes into, even beyond diet culture, a lot of that goes into like the way I was raised, like, clean your plate and you're a good girl. You don't want to waste food, something that is a serving. There's a lot of things that go into that. But the point I want to bring up is that, so I get my ice cream, I get one scoop, I get it in this like waffle cone bowl type of thing. And as I was eating it, because I was eating it in my car. I was taking like a little break from work. I was eating it in my car, and then I was having these thoughts like, holy shit, this is fucking delicious. Like, I want to eat this. I want to eat more of this. But what was wild is the thoughts that were like, I should have got 2 scoops. I didn't get enough. And I was sitting there and I was like, Bianca, you've taken 2 bites of this. And I can't speak for none of y'all, but as somebody who has experience with binge eating, especially whenever it comes to desserts, whenever, should have gotten 2 scoops. I'm not going to lie to you. I had that thought many times, but just hang on. I'm going to get there. So, damn, I lost my train of thought. Y'all, I'm still new to TikTok Live. I'm used to going live on Instagram. TikTok Live got a lot of shit going on. There's like a lot of stuff over here that is very, very distracting. And I'm trying to just like stay focused. But anyways, so I'm having these thoughts like, oh my God, you should have gotten more. This isn't enough. And then I had to catch myself because I was like, Bianca, you've barely started eating and already you're having this mentality of it's not enough. I should have gotten more. And this is something that has come up with me on multiple occasions. And this is not just desserts, but it definitely comes up a lot with desserts, but also with like certain types of food where whenever I'm eating them, it's like I'm literally not even enjoying it because I'm having these thoughts that are so obsessive about needing or wanting more, right? Like I'm having these thoughts that are like, oh, like I wish I had more. Or even thoughts like, and this is not for this because I already left the shop, but let's say I bought something and I brought it home, right? Then there's these thoughts of hurry up and finish this bowl so you can have the next one. First of all, let me just say that it's not easy or fun to say these things. Like, honestly, it feels kind of embarrassing. But in reality, I know that I'm not the only one who's gone through this. So, why not be real about it? So anywho, I'm eating this ice cream and I'm over here thinking about, why am I having these thoughts? Why am I feeling like whatever I have here is not enough? Why do I feel like I should have gotten more? Even though I know that by paying attention to my body, I know that physically I have enough. So I caught myself because this is a diet culture thought. And I realized that I was having those thoughts of, I have to eat as much as I can right now because I don't know when will be the next time I can have this. I had those thoughts that said, oh, well, Bianca, you're being bad, so you might as well be as bad as you can right now and then, regret it later. Or you're already doing it. You're already eating ice cream, which is bad, so you might as well just fuck it up all the way and just overeat. Like all of these thoughts that stem from diet culture. So what's so wild about diet culture and how everybody is always saying you should eat this, you shouldn't eat this food is bad, these foods are good, stay away from these foods are fat burning, all the things, right? What's interesting is that it kind of just makes us want to eat those foods even more, which is kind of why it's a mind fuck, right? And I'm not saying that this is like a hard ass rule, but us human beings have a tendency to want things once we realize we cannot have them. I literally remember having the recognition in my brain, like, Bianca, imagine if there was never a world where someone told you that certain foods were bad. Imagine if this was a world where you never knew that it was like, oh, this is considered a good food, or there was no, diet, fat burning. It was just, food was just fucking food. Because, by the way, food is just fucking food. So, like, imagine that, Bianca. Because if we were not taught all of these rules around food, things like cookies and cake and pizza and burger and whatever fuck, they wouldn't feel like the devil, right? It's everything in moderation. I deprive myself. Yeah, exactly. And this is actually one of the beautiful things I love about releasing the diet mentality, because this was something that honestly, oh my God, like blew my mind. To me, this is the best part. The best part has never been, even if you might think it is, because this is what I used to think too. The best part is never, oh, I really wanted a cookie today and all day long I thought about it, but I resisted the urge. Or, oh, I really wanted to eat this, but I was so disciplined and I didn't do it. And I made it all day and I didn't have any of them. And that feeling of like, oh, I'm so proud of myself for depriving myself. I'm so proud of myself that I didn't allow me to eat what the fuck I wanted. When you release that, you recognize that the real goal is being unbothered as fuck. The real goal is enjoying the foods that you eat guilt-free. The real goal is recognizing that there are no good or bad foods. And once you release that, sis, you will be surprised at how much you don't even care. Like how much those feelings, how easily those feelings of like, I have to eat it, I need to eat this, I need to eat this many, how much it goes away. For me, a lot of it, and don't get me wrong, like obviously it's a journey for me as well. Like I'm not perfect. But what I've realized with me is a lot of it is tied to habits. I even caught myself over the weekend whenever I just finished having dinner, and then I remember thinking to myself, my husband was on the way home, and I remember thinking like, ooh, you should tell him to bring home some ice cream or some cookies or something sweet. And then I thought to myself, I was like, but why? You don't even really want it. And I realized that it was literally just a habit because I had been, for me, because I was in the diet mentality for so long, the weekends are always a time where you could let loose and be a little bit more free. You know, the calories on the weekend don't count, blah, 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 right? This braid is pissing me off. So I caught myself because I was like, Bianca, you don't even want ice cream. And if you do, it's fine. Clearly, I wanted it a few days later because here I am. It's like, you don't even want ice cream. You literally are just having a habit of doing this. And even being able to recognize that, wow, I don't even really want anything sweet right now was amazing for me. Because for someone like me who has had a lot of challenges whenever it comes to sugar, and for someone who can easily fall into that trap of, oh, well, if I eat one, I'm going to eat them all. It has honestly just been a beautiful thing to learn to just enjoy these foods without the guilt, without the shame, without the negative self-talk, without the regret. Later on, I'm thinking like, oh my God, why did I eat that? The only time I do that now is if I truly know that like I overate. And even then, I'm not going to beat myself up because what the fuck is the point? What's the point of beating myself up about it? I'm not throwing up the food. It's in there. It's staying in there. Number one. Number two, like there's nothing that I can say to myself that's going to undo what was done. It can literally be a matter of, yeah, like you can absolutely hold yourself accountable, but also like, bruh, be kind to yourself and just acknowledge like, okay, you know, I'm feeling a little bit stuffed. I ate more than I needed to. And I just did a post about this on my page. This is where paying attention to your body becomes so, so important. We have been just yelled at about what we are supposed to eat. I have literally, y'all, my husband is a fitness trainer, and he literally tells me how often his clients are like, what should I eat? Well, I don't know what to eat. I don't know what I'm supposed to eat. Can you just write me a meal plan? And that shit just breaks my fucking heart. Because we have literally gotten to a point where we feel like we can't even trust ourselves to know what the fuck to eat. We don't trust our bodies. We don't trust our own judgment. We have been so ingrained in this society of good food versus bad food and what you're supposed to eat and what you're not supposed to eat that we have gotten to the point where we don't even believe that our best detector is this. Y'all, it's all of this. You know which foods. You know whenever you eat a food and you feel like shit. You know you eat a food and you don't feel like shit. You know you eat a food and then you feel sleepy. You know when you get the itis. Definitely being more kind and patient with, yes, 10,000%. You know these things. You do not need anybody to tell you what to eat. And even going back to what I was saying earlier about releasing the diet mentality, like, y'all, and not that this is even like relevant because at the end of the day, food is food, but you just be really surprised at how overeating isn't even appealing anymore. And y'all, listen, I grew up in a world where overeating was like, it was the norm. Like if you weren't like unbuckling your shit, back in the jeans era because of bitches in leggings or biker shorts. Hello. Anyway, if you were not like, leaning back, unbuckling your pants, doing all this like, I need to go lie down, I need a nap. If you weren't doing that, you were kind of the weirdo because that was the norm in my house. So the way I kind of gauge eating levels or fullness levels is, to me, I have satiety. No. To me, I have satisfied, full, and stuffed. So growing up, stuffing yourself was a normal thing, whether it was like Thanksgiving, whether you were going out to eat, whatever it is, like it was normal. Like it was literally to the point where to me, it was weird to still have some room left over. And if I'm being real transparent with y'all, which I am, there are some days where I still have those feelings where I'm like, I'm still hungry. And I'm like, bitch, no the fuck you're not. You are not hungry. You're just not stuffed. And you are now working on unlearning the habit of thinking that it's normal to stuff yourself. It's not. Bruh, your digestive system is fucking screaming right now. Like, hey, knock, can you not? I just want to talk about what I wish I would have known. And at the end of the day, like, I don't have any regrets, you know, like you can't go back in time. I just think that it's so crazy to me that it's 2023 and we have evolved in so many things. I mean, of course, technology being a really big one, but like we've evolved in so many different ways. And the shit that I still see, lose 7 pounds in 7 days, how to, you know, stop your hunger, don't eat after this time. Y'all not go fucking tell me when to eat and when not to eat. Like, intermittent fasting, aka skipping breakfast, and like, y'all, I don't care. Like, don't come at me with the, oh, there's these benefits to fasting. Motherfucker, if you are hungry, eat. If you're hungry, eat. Like, it's literally that simple. And again, going back to being able to pay attention to your body, a lot of us don't even fucking know our hunger signals anymore. A lot of us don't even know satiety because we are so ingrained in what we're supposed to be doing. We're so ingrained in the servings and all the different things. I tell people eating to feel miserable afterward is not self-care. Monica, you know. Because it's not. And again, what's so crazy is when you make this shift, all of a sudden you realize how much you just don't even want to overeat because it doesn't feel good. Going back to what I was saying earlier about the 3 levels for me: satisfied, full, and stuffed. Growing up, it was completely normal for me to like stuff myself. Y'all, now when I tell you that is so rare for me, it is so rare. Because I literally got to a point where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I feel disgusting. I feel tired. Motherfucker, I got shit to do. This is almost like the equivalent of getting high. And I'm just over here trying to like lay down and go to sleep. No, like, I got shit to do. And it's funny, and I'm glad that Monica even brought up self-care, because in Healthy Vegan Black, one of the things we talk about all the time is self-care. And I'll tell y'all, listen, there is absolutely nothing wrong with, you know, lighting a candle, reading a book, taking a bath. There's nothing wrong with those things. But can we literally talk about the most simplest form of self-care, which is like fucking taking care of yourself and doing what feels good? And that realization for me was like, because it literally got to a point where I was like, damn, you know, I do really like this food whenever I'm eating it. It tastes real good going down, but then a few minutes later, I'm like, ugh, ugh. And I am, at this point, you already know if you've been here, I am very anti-diet. I am not about depriving yourself. I am not about, you know, oh, you can't eat these foods or these foods are bad. But what I am about is, how do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? What type of day do you want to have? Because if I'm being real, there are certain foods where if I eat them, baby, I'm not doing nothing for the rest of the night. I don't know if y'all been to Chili's, but listen, they got the skillet cookie. Y'all, that shit, when I was younger, I would go in there and I would literally try to just hammer that entire thing. Now, no. Let me not even go to now. Let me start from the beginning. That was the beginning. And then I was like, I had the realization, I was like, this is not an after dinner dessert. This is like dinner. Like you can't eat food and eat this. I'm speaking for myself, not everybody else. And then I graduated to, y'all, I don't even want it. And does that mean that I don't love chocolate chip cookies and ice cream? No, because I do. And I will eat them. Let me be very clear. But I've literally gotten to the point where that food isn't even tempting for me anymore, because I know how it makes me feel. And yeah, there may be some random off occasion where I decide to eat it. And I'm not going to lie, when I do that, 90% of the time I was like, oh yeah, that's why I stopped eating it. Sometimes I do this thing where like once a year I'll eat at McDonald's just to remind myself of how disgusting I think it is. And for the record, this is not no shade to anybody who eats at McDonald's. I just actually think they're fucking disgusting. And let me be very, very clear. I am a very big like burger fan. And for me, and this is another thing that has really been so amazing and so powerful in my eating journey and my intuitive eating journey, all the things. It's just recognizing that self-care. Bianca, you deserve to eat foods that taste fucking great. I mean, let's not even talk about how the prices of fast food at this point. You might as well take your ass out to a restaurant. That's a whole other conversation. I'm like, Bianca, if you want a burger, why not go somewhere that sells a bomb-ass fucking burger? Why not make you a bomb-ass fucking burger at house? Because trust me, I have made some bomb-ass burgers, baby. So I actually do the meal delivery kits with Green Chef and Blue Apron. And y'all, pretty much 90% of the time I got a burger on the menu, Bianca is putting that shit in her box. Like that's where I am. But that's literally another form of self-care. That's another form of treating your body the way it deserves to be treated. And y'all, this is, let me be clear. This is not an overnight thing. This is not something where, you have decades of diet culture just, crammed into your brain. And then you wake up tomorrow and you're like, I'm an intuitive eater now. I will never overeat again. No. And that gonna happen like that. And that's fine. That's fine. This is literally what I'm constantly talking about in my programs, with my clients, with my damn self. Being patient with yourself. Recognizing, oh my God, there's some things that are so cliche, but they're so true. Y'all, enjoy the fucking journey. Enjoy the process. This year, no, it's 2023 now. Last year was the first time that I can't even, my life, I literally can't remember, y'all. The first time that I looked in the mirror and I was like, bitch, you look fucking good. There were times I would look in the mirror and I would just be like, there is not one thing I like about my body. Like, I couldn't find anything. I did get braces, and then I got to the point where I was like, I like my teeth. But other than that, yeah. There were literally times where I looked in the mirror and I couldn't do it, y'all. I couldn't find one thing that I liked about my body. Now, baby, a bitch be breaking her own fucking neck, okay? I be like, oh. Don't let me get out of the shower and be feeling myself, because I will. And, it took me a very, very long time to get here. And a lot of that was releasing the diet mentality. And even if you go visit my page, like, y'all, I have never, like, in the last, not even year, maybe 6 months, I have posted more pictures of me in a bathing suit than I have in my entire life. Mind you, I am the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. Because it's not about the weight. It's the same thing whenever it comes to money mindset, right? Like, people think like, oh, it's the money. Once I get more money, no, the fuck you won't. It's not the money, bitch. It's you. Money is everywhere. Money is energy. Money is abundant. It's you. It's the same thing with the weight. It's not about the number. It's not about the number. How many months has it been? I should look that up, because I should probably be celebrating an anniversary real soon. Y'all, I threw my scale away last year, and honey, you want to talk about liberation. And even going back to what I said about how, things take time and they don't happen overnight and everything is a journey. I remember the first time I heard someone suggest to me that, like, why do you need to weigh yourself? And I literally was like, the fuck you talking about? Obviously, I didn't weigh myself. And this was, oh my God, I ain't even gonna hold y'all. This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. The very first time someone said something to me about that. And then, I kind of heard it a few other times. And, there were some conversations around like, oh, well, Bianca, like, well, what do you, because I remember someone was like, well, why do you need to weigh yourself? And I was like, oh, so I can, know if I'm losing weight. And then I can't make this shit up. This was a personal trainer I was talking to, really sweet woman. She looked me in my face and she was like, I'm coming close to the camera for dramatic effect. She looked me in my face and she was like, Bianca, when you're losing weight. You know your body. You know how your clothes fit. And I was like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I still didn't throw my scale away. I still didn't. This was still years ago, y'all. Going to the doctor, after avoiding going to the doctor because I didn't want to go on the scale, because I didn't want them to be like, wah, 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 you need to lose weight, and bah, 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 bah. And let me just preface all of this. Well, a little too late for a preface, but I like the word. Let me just preface all this by saying, like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, chill out, Bianca. I recognize that having like a certain amount of body fat, especially visceral fat, like in the mid-seg. I recognize that there are health concerns. I recognize that. I recognize that body positivity is absolutely amazing. I fully support it. I will always support. Be confident, love yourself, fall in love with your current body, whatever the fuck it looks like. And I also recognize that health is a very big deal. Hell, some would argue it's the most important thing, right? A lot of us, we default to things like money, and it's like, what the fuck does all that money mean if you laid up somewhere because you can't move? Not a goddamn thing. So obviously I recognize that, actual health is a very, very real thing. I'm not negating any of that. But what I want somebody to tell me is, when was the last time somebody shamed themselves into weight loss and they actually kept the weight off? When is the last time you actually helped somebody by demeaning them, making them feel less than what they are, picking on them? Let's talk about self-talk. Hello? When was the last time you telling yourself how much of a fat ass you were was just productive? When? Negative self-talk not getting you nowhere? Body positivity is the way to go. Absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you, it really is, it truly is liberating, because once you get there and you look back, you're like, and y'all, I'm gonna do a whole nother live on this, but being the weight that I am now, being like the heaviest that I've been, but then also being more in love with my body than I've ever been, has really been a wake-up call. Because I literally look back at photos of me now when I was like 50 pounds smaller, and I'm just like, wow. I can literally remember being in those moments and feeling so fat. I can literally remember being in those moments and just like not loving anything about my body. Obsessed about weight loss. And y'all, no shade, no shame, right? We talked about this. This is the culture that we live in. Just think about how normal it is for especially women. Think about how normal it is for women to just get together and talk shit about our bodies. We get together and all we say is, oh my God, I gotta lose some weight. I've gained so much. I'm so fat. We literally pitter patter back and forth. Are you serious? No, look at me. No, bitch, I gained. It's a competition. Who gained the most weight? Who can talk the most shit about their body? Like, woo! Y'all, the awareness, it'll make you sad. Like it will really, really make you sad. Like now, the blessing and the curse. Now that I am super aware of these things, I get sad, I get mad, I get frustrated, because I hear it all the time. All the time. Women who just go at themselves about the way that they look. Y'all, your weight is the least interesting thing about you. You are not your weight. Your weight does not equal your worth. You are not any less valuable. You're not any less amazing. You're not any less beautiful, because you're not what society is telling you you're supposed to look like. You're not. And it's sad that we live in a world where, like, literally, what about body emotions? Wait, what are body emotions? I think that one is new for me. I'm like, what was I even talking about? What was this live about? Oh yeah, binge eating. I don't went like way over here. But I just want y'all to think about it. That's really it. Like my biggest lesson has been, just be aware. Don't even try to change shit. Don't try to take no action. Don't try to go do nothing. Just start paying attention to how many thoughts you have around food. Start paying attention to how obsessive we can become about every piece of food we put into our mouths. Start being aware of how much of your world is centered around weight. You go somewhere, you're already thinking about who else is going to be there. Am I going to be the biggest? I mean, for me, am I going to be the biggest? Am I going to be the blackest? Am I going to be the loudest? Am I going to be the most ghetto? Like all of these things. Oh, there's going to be food there. Oh, well, was I good today? Oh, well, no, well, I'm going to be bad later. So let me make sure that I eat this now. Like, so many thoughts, so many emotions, so much mental space, so much mental space that can be used for anything else. Thinking creatively, complimenting yourself, complimenting someone else, thinking about how grateful you are for something, reminiscing on some fond memories, being excited about something that you have coming up. But instead, we are spending so much mental energy on weight. We are spending so much mental energy obsessing over what we eat because the world is constantly telling us that we are doing it wrong. Mixed thoughts. Oh, yeah. Yes, just absolutely. Whew. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Speaking of food, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna give me something to eat. But if you're not following me, make sure you hit that follow button if you like this live, because I got some more coming. Healthy, Big, and Black is, it really is my heart and soul, y'all. Like, it truly is. Like, and healthy to me is so much more than just, like working out and, eating vegetables. Like, it truly is feeling physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally whole. It's feeling good from the inside out. It's the thoughts that we have. It's the way that we talk to ourselves. It's self-care. It's like, are we having fun in our everyday lives? What are our relationships like? Are we in good relationships where they actually feel supportive? Like, it's so much more. It really is. Anywho, I'm gonna hop off of here as soon as I figure out how, because I told y'all I'm new to TikTok Live. I don't know what's going on, but thank y'all for joining, and I'll catch y'all next time.